Hello, friends. It's nice to be back at work and seeing you after a few days. Sorry, I missed two of our turns, one of which I'm making up today. I'd been a little under the weather, but all good now. As promised a couple of weeks back, from this week, I was to start new topics. And the topic I'm addressing today is about innovation. All of you who know me will know that that is something that is very close to my heart. In fact, my punchline on WhatsApp is innovate or perish. That's how serious I think innovation should be, how seriously I think innovation should be taken up. If you want to sustain, if you want to grow, innovate. If you don't innovate, you're going to perish. So let's jump into it right away. Let me start sharing my screen with you. Okay, so today being the first session on innovation, we're going to talk about what is innovation and why innovation. A lot of people actually confuse between what innovation is, what improvement is, and what just making things better, which is improvement is. So normally when one talks of innovation, by and large, and I would believe that at least 70 or 80% of us would believe and visualize innovation as coming in the form of a flashy new gadget. An iPhone 14 to an iPhone 15 is not an innovation. It is just an improvement on the product. Maybe some technology does go into it, which is innovative, but the product itself is not truly innovative. And therefore, when you just see a flashy new gadget, don't associate it with innovation. And innovation is not evolutionary. As I said, iPhone 14 to 15 is not innovation. That is an evolution of products, right from the original iPhone till the iPhone 15 that we have today. It has been a gradual evolution of product. But innovation is revolutionary. And that is what the iPhone actually did. When the iPhone came out, nobody knew that a phone of that kind could be existing. I remember the story when Steve Jobs went up to the board of Apple saying that he had an idea for a product. Idea was the innovative product of an iPhone. His board asked him to do a survey before allocating funds. And after the 30 or 60-day period that he was given, he goes up to the board and says that, sorry, there was no survey possible. So he says, why? He said, a simple reason. Nobody has seen this kind of a product before. And therefore, what will they answer in my survey? And this is true. And how has that product innovated? It has not only given us something that was typically used only for talking, but it has become much more. A phone today has replaced a camera, has replaced an alarm clock, has replaced so many things that we can't even imagine it. So,
For what time?
sorry.
Search on Apple Music or ask for it on a different app.
Sorry, guys, my Siri seems to be overworking. Anyway, so that is what innovation is. When you are coming out with something that is truly revolutionary, innovation is not about just getting a new product on the store shelf. That is probably done by evolution. Even when we go from cathode tube TVs to LED TVs, the LED part of it is an innovation. But the TV is evolution. As new technology comes in, the product gets upgraded. So innovation is not about a new product on the shelf, but innovation is really a complete process of conceiving, of developing, and delivering new products or services for a customer. And yes, very important, the customer must need it and must use it. Okay, so that is what innovation is really all about. And one wonders why innovation in business? Okay, because that's innovation in an expensive habit. It's not going to be something that is just cheap and happens. Innovation in business is required because it increases the value of your business. Whether it is a brand valuation, whether it is a product valuation, but it increases the value of your business. It gives you new growth opportunities because you are coming out with new product. You are probably going to be the first. There'll be people trailing you, there'll be people who copy you, there'll be people who imitate you, but you are going to always have the advantage of the first, and that gives you new growth. And you will stay ahead of the competition. No one else has it. What the hell? You are the only one who's going to offer that product there. Also, innovation in a business makes the team a thinking team and a proactive team. Because that business supports innovation, the team is constantly thinking, visualizing what can be done in the future, how can the lives of customers be improved, and therefore become pro-creative. And this creates a culture within the organization of being visionary. And any company that is looked upon as being visionary is the leader of the pack. So innovation in business is just necessary. Innovate or perish. What are the important elements for innovation in business? We're going to take an overview as some of these different aspects of innovation in business. And some of the important elements are, as typical for any product, who? It's the customer. And innovation is worthless or not worth involving yourself in if at the end of the day, maybe in the long term, it does not address some need and some challenges that the user faces. So any innovation that you do has to keep the customer in mind and has to address their needs and challenges and solve those. What is innovation? It is a compelling and executable solution. Something that cannot be executed is not a true innovation. A true innovation is something that takes care of what we said, who. It has to, whatever you do, has to take care of the who. And therefore, if that innovation is not compelling for the customer and executable to help him, that innovation is no good. And then actually comes the question of how. So all innovations cannot sell or work in existing platforms. You need different formats. You might need a totally new product design. And you need a new business model. And therefore, the way to go about executing and delivering an innovation is to have a business model that can use that solution that you are creating to be monetized. You're not in the business of charity. Okay, so that innovation, you should be able to offer the solution with some monetary benefits for the innovator / organization, and that innovation should create value for the organization as well as for the user. These are the key elements, basic elements. Anytime you do something, you ask who, what, why, how. This is what it is all about. Who, what, how. The why has been answered in the first sentence itself, because why innovation is necessary. Now, what are the attributes that one needs to do superior innovation in a business? There are a few of them which I'm going to list down. One is aspire. Innovation-led growth is critical. As I said, innovate or perish. And innovation leads to new growth. So innovation-led growth is critical because that is helping an organization or a business to expand the horizons. And therefore, you have to have targets that emphasize this. Because if you come out with something that takes too long in the making, the customer either has found another solution, and therefore your premise, your base on which you are putting your idea into effect, into a solution, has died down. So you have to, innovation has to have lead to growth, which is critical, and you have to set a target that emphasizes this. You have to choose. You have to invest time. You have to balance risks, and you have to allocate resources. These are choices you have to make as a business to go ahead with innovation, especially if you want superior innovation compared to the rest of the world. You need to be able to discover your business, your technology, your marketing. They all have to converge, and they should do an R&D, which should result in product being created that has a winning value. Any product that does not bring you a value addition is not a great innovation. And you need to evolve. You need to create new business models that will provide the platform for such successful products. There could be various things. But having created the business model or creating the business model has to go hand in hand with the development of that innovative product. There's some more attributes you need to accelerate. You need to be quick and efficient. As I said a little earlier, you cannot take your own sweet time over bringing the product to market. You need to be quick, you need to be efficient, and you need to scale. And what do I mean by scale? You need to launch it at the right scale. You cannot launch it in one store in a city like Mumbai. It's not going to happen. Nobody is going to come and buy the product if you're selling it in, say, South Bombay from even Borivali, unless that product is something that is so divine, it is so wanted by the customer, and that too, it's not going to work. So you have to launch it at the right scale and in relevant markets. If iPhone had decided to launch its product in some small town called Jhumri Talaiya in Mumbai, in India, do you think that product would have succeeded? No. So you have to launch it at the right scale in the relevant market. And you need to extend. What do you mean by extend? You need to be able to spread the viability, the use, and the distribution of the product. So you need to either create your own networks, external networks, you can't do everything yourself, or you need to capitalize, collaborate, align with some existing networks so that your innovative product, your new, in the real sense, your new product gets the required coverage to make it successful. And you need to mobilize. You need first internal mobilization. You need to make sure that your teams are motivated, that they are rewarded, and they are organized to undertake the project of innovation, whatever product you are defining, with a proper focused theme and success. And that team has to be able to innovate incessantly. Apple didn't stop at the Mac. Apple didn't stop at the iPhone. Apple didn't stop at the iPad. Apple kept on innovating. It kept on improving existing products and at the same time coming out with new innovative products that were leaders within that category always. Yes, there have been plenty who have copied them, plenty who are using the same formats that Apple is using on the iPhone, but the iPhone is an iPhone. And one thing I would probably say with all, let's say, surety, is that There is no other phone or operating system, so to say, which is as resilient to garbage as the iOS or the Mac OS is. So that's the kind of innovation one should be looking at. What are some other attributes? Now, 8 of them we talked of, okay? But what are the important ones which you need to constantly remember and keep on the top of your mind? They are aspire and choose. Because it is crucial that leaders of the businesses are on the same page. Now, they are not going to get into all aspects of it at all times that the team is going to manage. But at the end of the day, it is the leaders who are going to allocate funds, resources, management support, whatever else it is that is needed. And therefore, all the leaders should be on the same page when deciding or when aspiring and choosing an innovation project. And it is the leaders who should set the tone. They should set bold aspirations and make critical choices for resource allocation. Because quite often we find, and I have seen that in so many companies, that they will want super innovation. Super is not even an adequate word for what they have in mind, but they will not allocate resources. No fund resources, no teammate resources, no skill resources, no management resources. Okay, and everything is important to make a project successful. So the leaders make the critical choice of resource allocation and the role allocation of team members. Sometimes you will give the role to a team member who is just not skilled for that role. So you need, as a leader, to make sure that you're putting the right person for the right job in the right place at the right time. And to do this, I have noticed very often, and I've noticed people do it successfully, leaders do it successfully, is they need to make a change in their mindset. And in a lot of cases, also a change in their management styles. Because there are leaders who want everything to be perfect at the first shot. Innovation doesn't do that all the time. If it happens, you're lucky. But more often than not, there will be a few trial and error steps before something really takes off. So what are some ideas for superior innovation? One of the main things, and I have been a very serious proponent of this, is let teams collide. What I mean by this is that set up an atmosphere, set up a culture where you have very structured, it's not a free-for-all, you have very structured joint cross-functional intra-team meetings. Let the finance team meet the tech team. Let the tech team meet the marketing team. Let all 3 teams meet together and question orthodoxies. Existing things don't mean anything. Just because something is being done in a particular way for the last 50 years doesn't mean that it cannot change. It does not mean that it is the best way to do something. It is not true. And you frequently find excuses of budget, resources, or many other things are not being done. My industry doesn't need it. So many different things. Nobody else in the industry is doing it. Okay. You don't need such excuses. And these excuses just need to be attacked and decimated. They need to be annihilated. Those are not constraints that one should waste time on. Once you are convinced that a particular project of innovation, that an idea must bear fruit, nothing should stop you. A budget, find out where you get it from. Resources, find out where you will get them. If you don't have them, procure them. But no such excuses should be tolerated. Check with other industries. This is a very important aspect. And I, as a jeweler, have been telling people this for a long, long time. Learn, look at other this thing, look at their value proposition. Study the value proposition of 5 different industries. From each of them, you will find something, some small aspect that can be applicable to your industry. And based on this, use these relevant features to create your own unique value proposition. I'm not saying copy any of them. No. But there is something good to be taken out from each of those value propositions. Yes, you will need to tweak it to suit your business, your industry, your own individual management and development style, and lay the guidelines. This is important because any idea that you spend time, energy, money on developing has to have a business viability. At the end of the day, execution of that idea should make business sense for the organization. Okay, and there needs to be a business model to which that will fit, even if it's a new business model you have to create. So you need to lay the guidelines and you need to work on all of these things simultaneously. You can't have a product ready and then come out with a business model a year later. By that time, your product is ready for tweaking or for an improvement. So all these things need to run in parallel. And therefore, planning of your resource allocation is going to be critical. And what are the best ways to get ideas? Everybody wants superior ideas. Everybody wants unique ideas. Everybody wants ideas that are truly out of the box, so to say. The best way to get ideas, such superior ideas, is to get plenty of ideas. And then sit down, look at each idea, and whichever idea does not make sense, whichever is a crazy idea, just put it into the shredder. Or if we were talking of Shakespearean times, you would have said, put it into the fire. So just shred the bad ideas, and whatever is remaining, from that you analyze, find out which is your best idea. It may be more than one, and start planning on processing those ideas, on investing in those ideas. So one of the things that you need to do to have superior innovation is to create high-performing teams. Because innovation at the end of the day is a team spirit. It is not a one-man job. You need teams because there are so many different aspects to think of. And when you're thinking, 5 ideas from 5 different team members will help you to find that one idea which is acceptable to all and which is really going to take the project forward. So there are certain traits that the team needs. First is vision. You have to have a team that has the ability to spot an opportunity. It could be an individual, but then he has to inspire the team to go for it. He has to convince the team that his idea is something that is worth pursuing. It is something that will bring good returns to the company. And then you need to collaborate. Even the person with the idea may not be the best person to execute it, may not be the best person to think about every aspect. So he needs to collaborate. And therefore, fostering participative teamwork. That participative is key. Every team member should be participating in that project. And at times, change management. The leaders will have to change their business, their management styles. So collaboration is a key to processing good ideas and learning. You cannot have a closed mind. You need to have the ability and capability to absorb new ideas. If you don't have this, you can't go ahead with an innovation and execute. Every great idea is only as great as its execution. If you have an idea when your execution is poor, that idea will remain just that, an idea. Okay, so you need to facilitate speedy decisions and adaptation of new thoughts and processes. So execution is important. When we talk of innovation in business, leaders play a very important role. And what do the leaders need? There are some tips, not all of them, it's not comprehensive, but something for you to start with. First is allocate the required resources. Don't scrimp on them. Don't be a miser when allocating resources. And the resources can be financial, it can be in the teams. Don't give a project which is really important, just one or two team members. That's not going to get things moving. And you need management support. There are a lot of times when the management procedures can kill a project. Red tapeism, we all hear of it all the time. But yes, it can kill a project so often. Constantly evaluate. This is very important. And I remember when I was doing a course, somebody asked me that you're leaving for Pune and then you're stopping for Vada Pav. You're going to Pune for a meeting, something to discuss, and you're eating Vada Pav. What will you do then? And I remember saying at that time, I'd probably call up the Pune contact and ask him if the project is still on, if everything is on schedule. Because if not, then I might as well turn back from halfway through. Why go all the way? So you need to constantly evaluate the performance and the need for that innovation. As I said, the innovation is going to be based on certain premises about what the customer needs, what are the customer's challenges, and how your product is going to help address them. But check, see, sometimes an innovation project can take a good amount of time. And maybe during that time, somebody else has come out with a product or some other changes have happened in society or in businesses or in travel or whatever else, which makes that challenge disappear. So now the challenge that you are addressing is not a challenge anymore. So check if your premises still hold value. And also check if some of your own new ideas are going to be such that they will give that original value plus, in which case you might as well shell the original this thing and focus only on this new idea that you have on the table and you have already started working on. And learn to say no. As a leader, just like I have been saying, you have to say yes and allocate the right resources. You have to also learn to say no. You have to get comfortable. You have to be okay with stopping new or existing projects if the scenario demands. The scenario can be as simple as what we just talked about, saying that that solution is no longer needed by the customer, to a solution where you just don't have the finances or any other resource to be able to take up that project. Then don't take the new project. Or in an existing project, if you find that, okay, the solution that you are bringing to the table is already being offered, can you move from that project or go deeper into the project to make things better than the solution being offered? Then still pursue it. But if not, if it's still going to be just that, or even just barely 5 or 10% better than that, maybe it's a better idea to just cut your losses at that stage. So you need to learn how to say no. And you need to reallocate resources. For some project that you know is going to be a super hit, you've allocated resources that at the start of the project we all thought is enough. But then you find that no, it needs 3 more team members to be able to move at the desired speed. Reallocate resources. Get the new members up to speed and let them join the team. Or if some project is being cancelled, make sure that you reallocate those resources to accommodate new ones. So speed up existing projects or accommodating new ones, reallocation of resources is going to be a constant. The next point, the 5th point, create an environment for innovation and failure. Innovation can be a failure sometimes. So you need to create an environment for innovation and failure. Get the greatness out of your team. Get them to give their best without fear of failure. If they fear failure because they will get reprimanded, they will lose some bonuses, they're not going to be able to really work. Be patient. Very often in industry we say, or in startups we say, fail fast so that you're burning up less money or whatever it is. You're wasting time. But fail fast does not always work, especially on absolutely new and innovative projects. There can be multiple failures before success. I don't think anybody has got success out of the first try itself. Keep critics close. If somebody is telling you that there's something wrong with your project, listen to him. He is giving you the other side. And frankly, for such people, I would go and say, get them onto your board. Put them on your advisory panel. You want people who look at all aspects of a project. They buy into a project, but they have to be astute enough to look at both the positives and the negatives. Very often, we get so carried away with the project that we refuse to think of even a possibility of something being wrong with the project idea. So critics, keep them close. In fact, I'd say keep the well-wishers close, but the critics closer. Be yourself and your team, let them be ambidextrous. There is great advantage in accepting divergent thoughts and approaches to a project. Because by doing that, you're looking at multiple options and then as a team deciding on what is the best option. So you will get convergence on the best mode. It can be a combination of two of the divergent thoughts that will give you the best mode, but it gives you the best mode. So be and allow teams to be ambidextrous. Above all, focus and execute. As I said a little earlier, no matter how good an idea you have, if it cannot or is not executed well, it just remains that an idea. So this is the starting point of our next few talks on innovation. I hope you enjoy it. As I said, innovation is a topic that is very close to me, and I would love ideas. I have given quite a few talks on innovation. Some of you may have heard some of them, but I would love to get your ideas and inputs. As I was saying, divergent thoughts, and then we'll converge at a common point. Thank you very much. I will see you tomorrow, trying to make up for lost time, and have a great evening. Thank you. Bye-bye.